All right, so let's talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 and specifically speaking, Legend Bowl and how Legend Bowl performs on it. For anyone who has picked up Legend Bowl in the past and actually wanted to play it on the Nintendo Switch, you probably pulled it up and loaded it and played, and you were like, oh, this is not really working to the highest standard. And I want to do a video to explain kind of where we started and kind of where we are now, and show it off on the Nintendo Switch 2, which is very hard to find, by the way. It's still in high demand, and I got very lucky, and I just went to Target really early one morning before they opened. I waited in a quick line, and I found a way to pick it up. So I'm glad, because I wanted to do a test to see how the game performs compared to the original Switch, because Legend Bowl was really meant to be on the Nintendo Switch. That was the number one console that I was shooting for as the developer of the game, to give football players and fans options on the Nintendo Switch, right? And the Nintendo Switch really hasn't had any football games. So this is going to be a great option. That was the plan, right? And what we did with the Legend Bowl game is we actually put it out there with all of the settings that the PC had. And there's a lot of settings, especially when it comes to graphics. And the problem with this is it would have probably been a better route to tailor the settings to fit the Nintendo Switch and not give any extra settings that would bog the system down. Unfortunately, the Nintendo Switch was so badly performing that it didn't really matter. So what we did was we left them all in there, and we put a 1.5x speed multiplier on the game so that it would run faster and kind of just run through the frames faster versus letting it play with an unlocked FPS and let it play naturally, right? And with this demo that I'm going to show you here, the game is they're both set to 1x. And we're going to walk through the settings that I recommend. But if we do a re-release of this, or we do an update to the game, I do want to change the settings to really remove the ones that make the gameplay slow. And like I said, we're going to review that at the end of this. But this is a quick demonstration of the loading times. If you look at how long it takes to load from the beginning to the actual coin toss, you're going to see a dramatic difference. And both of these are set to the same exact settings that I found to be pretty good. You can play around with them since you have all of the options, but I'll kind of tell you which ones to steer away from. But the game's playing really, really smoothly and well on the Switch 2, and I'm pretty happy with the way it's playing, because this game, like I said, was meant for the Switch. It's the perfect console for it. I think the Switch handles, or at least attracts, people who like retro pixel art games way more than your more powerful systems like your PS5 and your Xbox, the newer Xboxes, and obviously PC. But it's running a lot faster, and you can see the load times here. And then next, we're going to look at the actual kickoff. So I want to start and show you what the kickoff looks like if I just click on it right there and do them side by side. And you can see how much faster the top Switch 2 version looks. I mean, it's playing so much better, and you can actually enjoy it. So I'm doing a video on this channel. I don't have a huge channel, but I know my hardcore fans who watch and support my work. I wanted to make sure you guys were able to see this, so I went ahead and I put the money on out there to bring in the Switch 2 and show it to you guys. And it's really satisfying to see it run better. Now, you can't turn all the options on, because if you do, you're going to have a little bit of slowdown, and I would rather have performance versus slowdown. So you're going to have to kind of, I guess your mileage may vary depending on what you choose to do and what your preferences are. If you like it to be super high graphics and you want it to run a little bit slower and you're okay with that, then go for it. But I think it's running really well with the settings that I have, and we will walk through those. But if you watch the gameplay, you can see how many more plays I'm playing, how much faster the game feels. They're both at 1x, like I mentioned. And if you were someone who were to pick up this game because now you have a Switch 2 and you didn't have it before the game, then I would recommend making some changes. Definitely off the bat, I would change it from the 1.5x to the 1x, because if you leave it on 1.5, the game's going to run lightning fast. And I'd like to get an update out there, and I'm working with my publisher to see if they can help me out here because, you know, they've been busy and they have other priorities, and my game's kind of old news now. So I don't know how much they're going to be able to do, but I'm going to definitely see what I can do to get it out there because I think this is a great opportunity for Legend Bowl to actually, you know, make some noise. And even though the game's older, maybe it can find a second, you know, wind of sales. And then also College Bowl for sure. If we can't do anything with this game, we will definitely try to do something with College Bowl if we can get it out there. Because again, I firmly believe that the Switch is a great system to showcase Legend Bowl. There aren't really any football games on there that are worth noting. No simulation, no Simcade ones for sure. I think Madden, the new Madden's going to come out on there, but this is not a competitor Madden, not at least directly. And I think that there's so much, you know, opportunity here, especially if you are a Switch 2 owner. You know that there aren't any games out. The only game that they've pretty much made was the new Mario Kart game. And I think the new Donkey Kong game is just coming out. So there's not many titles that were built for the Switch 2. And this would be a perfect opportunity to grab a great football game that you can spend thousands of hours on in franchise mode, which is unlimited. And there's so much you can do in here. And it's just a great opportunity to really enjoy the Switch 2 and take full advantage of the new hardware. So I am really excited for the way it looks, and I hope that you give it a second chance, or you tell some friends and, you know, see if they can get some fun in here. So here are the settings. This is the original Nintendo. I'm going to walk through all the graphical settings, which are the ones that you pretty much need to worry about. These are the ones I have set. So if you want to pause the video and, you know, choose these ones, but the main ones that are an issue are stadium shadows are a problem, then the jersey numbers are, and replays. Those are like the main three. And then you're going to want to go in the gameplay settings and change it from 1.5 to 1.0x. You can play around with these and, you know, see which ones work for you. This is the Switch 2, and I just want to walk you through that they're basically the same settings. And the game is working really, really well. Again, you can adjust the fan density. That might not change it too much. I had it on static, which is, you know, makes it run a little bit faster, I think. But again, I didn't do super heavy testing. I just did enough to where you can kind of see it perform well enough. But you can go ahead and, you know, make your own choices and see what works for you. But I definitely think that, you know, this is a great opportunity to pick up the game and play it because I'm enjoying the Switch. My biggest frustration with it right now is there aren't any games. And because of that, I wanted to play Legend Bowl, and I'm actually enjoying the game. I'm playing it on my own. I can actually run through it. As you can see here, I'm actually running through the, a game right now where I'm actually controlling, I think, Tampa Bay. And you can see how fast it runs, you know, and I'm recording it on my iPhone. It's, you know, the video is okay. My camera actually broke on me this morning, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm getting this error. So, hopefully you can see this well enough. And yeah, but seeing it in person, you're probably going to get a better experience. So I recommend, if you want a football game, pick up the Switch 2. And, I know it's probably not what you want to hear. I know that, you know, having it work on the original Switch would have been ideal, but that's just not, you know, not in the cards. And this game is pretty sophisticated. There's a lot of AI going on, a lot of logic. And even to my surprise, a little pixel art game does need to be, you know, optimized, and performance is definitely a priority. So pick up the game, tell your friends. And I'm only saying it because I think, obviously I'm a studio and I need to try to secure as much revenue as I can, especially going forward. But I also feel like this is a great opportunity to enjoy the Switch, and I'm really enjoying it myself. And it feels good as a developer. It feels pretty cool to have your game running on a Nintendo. system. It does, I have to say. I'm a longtime fan and I love the system. So pick it up and let me know in the comments if you enjoy it and how you feel, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks. See you later.